This is Pretend Farmer Girl, and I'm going to make some hot process soap today. I've made the cold process before and I really like that, but I'm kind of impatient, so I've been making this lately, and I'll give you my ingredients and then show you as I go. In the pot I've already measured 8 ounces of olive oil, 8 ounces of coconut oil, and 8 ounces of the manteca, which is the pork lard. This is the same exact recipe as I did previously, but the last time I did beef tallow, and this time I'm doing just the lard. I also have measured out 3.49 ounces of lye, 9 ounces of water, and I'm also adding 1/2 of an ounce of sweet almond oil at the end to make it a little bit softer. And I've really been enjoying doing that. I have just a little bit left of an essential oil that I'm going to add in. But the first thing you do is I'm going to turn the crock pot on to start melting my oils. I'm going to combine the lye and the water, and then I will be back. Alright, now I'm outside because of the fumes. I'm going to add the lye to the water, stir it up, and let it sit for a while my oils are still cooling down, melting. And once I'm sure that this is all dissolved, I'll go back inside and work on the oils, and then I'll be back. And of course, you must use all safety precautions. Don't breathe it in, don't splash it on you. Be very careful. Alright, if you happen to notice in the previous clip that I'd had a rookie error, I was leaning over the lye mixture and I breathed some in and coughed. So don't do that. Use a mask, use something over your face so you don't breathe it in. But the other thing I forgot to mention is that I'm making this oatmeal honey. So my oils are mixed. My lye water here, the stuff that's floating on the top was, I had a little bit of oil in this, so it does that. Has happened to me a couple times. I'm going to grind up the oatmeal so that it's kind of like a powder, and then I'm going to put, so this is 1/2 cup of oatmeal that I'll grind up, and then I'll put 1 to 2 tablespoons of honey in after I bring it to trace. So the thing about hot process is that you don't have to wait for the oils and the lye to get to the same temperature. You can just mix it all up and then start adding it in. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to add the lye water in slowly, carefully. Then I'm going to stir it up. Then I'll use the stick blender and bring it to a slight trace, and then show you the next step. So just stir this up. Change this color a bit while it's mixing up. And I'm not going to show you how I do all the stick blending because I know you've seen it. You can see it on other places. So I'm going to stir this up and use the stick blender, and the next time you see that this will be at a trace. And also I still have the pot on high. After I get to trace, I'll turn it down to low and let it sit and explain it from there. Alright, I wanted to show you, I've been doing this with the stick blender for about 2.5 minutes now. I do about 30 seconds, stop, stir it around about 10 or 15 times, and then do it again for 30 seconds. And it's almost at trace, but I guess I wanted to show you what it looks like right before it gets to the point where I'm going to stop. Did you see that last 30 seconds? So you can see that it looks like pudding now. You can see the indentations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the crock pot down to low, and I'm going to let it sit. I'll probably show you one spot where it starts to bubble on the sides. But what I've been doing that works best for me is I don't stir it until it completely folds in on itself the first time. And then I'll stir it once, and I'll let it completely fold in on itself a second time, and then see what happens, how it's doing, which means that you do the ZAP test, which basically means that you put a little bit on your tongue, and if it zaps like a battery, it's not done yet. If it doesn't zap, it's done. So I don't have any pH strips. That would be a better way to check it, but that's what we'll do. But so far, whenever I've made it, that by the second time it folds over on itself, it's done. This has been going for about 13 minutes, and I want to show you how it's starting to cook up on the edge there. This is a thrift store crock pot, so it's not very even. So what I've had to do is, so you can see that it's not curling up on these other sides, that basically every 15 minutes or so, I'll just turn it. Maybe I'll do that after I turn this off. So I'll just keep turning it and keep you updated. So right now it's been about 15 minutes on low. The last time I did this, I had it on high, and it just seemed like it cooked so fast that I'm trying to unload this time. Alright, here's the progress at about 25 minutes. I'm just going to keep turning it, and I'm not going to stir it until all of this over here looks like this, where it's turned and rolled into itself. So I'll give you an update in another 15 minutes. There you go. You can see that all the way around the sides and all the way into the middle, it's all turned in on itself. So I'm going to stir it once, and basically when it's ready, it's going to all look like a Vaseline texture. So I'm just going to stir it up. Get it all worked in. Make sure I've given it a good stir, worked it down, and then the next thing I'm going to do is let it do the same thing again, where it's going to completely turn on itself from the outside in, and then I will do a test on it and see if it's ready. You can see it's still white consistency right now. And hopefully by the next time it will have kind of a translucent look to it. I will be back when it's ready. Alright, it's been about 40 minutes since the last time, and it seemed like it was taking a long time, so I just decided to check it and stir it, and I can see that it's already getting that Vaseline-y look to it, so it might have been a good call. So I'm going to keep stirring this up, and then I'm going to do the ZAP test right in front of your very eyes. Yeah, right in front of your very eyes. Sorry, the camera's probably shaking. So it's looking, you can kind of see it, kind of gone from the pudding look to kind of a clearer look. So I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to touch this with my tongue and see if it zaps me like a battery. There's something wrong about that. Anyway, here goes. Oh dear. Ha ha ha, no zap. Thank the Lord. Anyway, so I'm going to turn this off now. That means it's done. I'm going to go ahead and add the ounce of almond oil and the 1 tablespoon of honey. And I will go ahead and mix that in, and then I will add the oatmeal. And I'll be back. Okay. Sorry for all the close-ups. Mix it in really good. Now I'm going to add the oatmeal. I'm going to do this a little bit at a time because I don't want the soap to get too dried out. And I'll be back as soon as I'm done. I've added in the almond oil, the 1 ounce of almond oil, the 1 tablespoon of honey, and the ½ cup of the oatmeal. I have the essential oil that I want to add in, but I need to have the temperature come down a bit, just probably about 170 degrees before I put the rest of the essential oil in, otherwise it might burn it off, cook it off. So I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and let this cool down, add the oil, and then I'll show you my nifty difty wifty mold. Here it is, my mold. I'm going to go ahead and put it in and show you the next step, which will be tomorrow after it is set up. The tricky thing about the hot process and putting it in a mold like this is if you put too much in and you don't get all the air bubbles out, the soap comes out with holes in it. So we'll see how it works out today. I'll see you tomorrow. It's the next day, and it's all set up. I'm going to peel the can open and then show you what it looks like. I did have a little leftover yesterday. It kind of blends in with the counter. And I tried it today, and it's very soft. I really like how it turned out. Probably would have liked some vanilla scent or something to it, but either way, it feels good. Here you have it. The soap's done. I wanted to show you it did stick. Some of it did stick a little bit to the sides, but as I was tearing it off, not too much. A little bit on the bottom too, but that's not a big deal. Also on the top here, you can see that it goes through, so I missed that part there as far as the very top. But I'm going to just go ahead and slice bars, and these are good and ready to be used right now if I wanted to, which I already did use some of the other one, and it was really nice. So let's see. Once I get away from all where the bubble is, I'll weigh it and see how much one of these bars costs. Weigh. So let's see. Wow, that really went down a lot. I have holy soap. Makes you feel more spiritual when you're in the shower. Alright. Let's see. Let me move it to ounces. So it's 3.35 ounces for 1 bar. And I think the ones in the store are about 4 ounces. So let's try this one. Yeah, about a little over 3.5 ounces per bar. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. This is Pretend Farmer Girl signing out.